A judge upholds a program, the president's program that allows 30,000 migrants per month from 4 separate nations into the U.S. Migrants who cross the Rio Grande and enter the U.S. from Mexico are lined up for processing by U.S. Customs and Border Protection is part of this, but the administration can keep operating a program that allows a limited number of migrants from 4 countries in. The U.S. District Judge said Texas and 20 other states had not shown that they had suffered financial harm because of the humanitarian parole program that allows up to 30,000 asylum seekers into the U.S. each month from Cuba, Haiti, Nicaragua, and Venezuela combined. That was something the states needed to prove in order to have legal standing to bring a lawsuit. So, I would argue, I'm not a lawyer, I would argue that there's a way to show that there is financial harm, but the president is dealing with the fallout in this process. There's just no doubt about it, that there is a huge fallout that's happening. And the president of the United States was talking about during a State of the Union address, and he called them illegals, and he made an apology about it. Now, I want you to hear it. I want you to hear the president's apology, but it's not the apology part of it. I guess that's kind of the sexy way to argue about this, making the apology for using the word illegals. I want you to hear what he says after. That, to me, is what's most important.
I noticed the look of surprise on your face when you walked into the chamber and you saw Congresswoman Marjorie Taylor Greene. It was priceless. You feigned shock at seeing her. But during your response to her heckling of you, you used the word illegal when talking about the man who allegedly killed Laken Riley.
An undocumented person. And I shouldn't have used illegal. It's undocumented. And look, when I spoke about the difference between Trump and me, one of the things I talked about on the border was that the way he talks about vermin, the way he talks about these people polluting the blood. I talked about what I'm not going to do, what I won't do. I'm not going to treat any of these people with disrespect. Look, they built the country. The reason our economy is growing. We have to control the border and more orderly flow, but I don't share his view at all.
So you regret using that word?
Yes.
So there's 2 things there. First of all, he spent 2 hours, and of that 2 hours during his State of the Union address, the president disparaged MAGA Republicans and he disparaged the former president. He does this all the time. He said MAGA Republicans are to blame for many things. He goes after anybody that supports Trump. And listen, I am not condoning bad behavior, but you say you're not going to be disrespectful, and not all Trump supporters are disrespectful, but you categorize them as that way. So you're not going to do this. You're going to differentiate between good people and bad people that are coming across our border, and I'm not going to insult any of them, but there doesn't seem to be an issue with insulting Americans who disagree with you. That you can do. There's no problem with disparaging them. Hillary Clinton called them a basket full of deplorables, and you're carrying on the same tradition, and you did it from the podium at the State of the Union address. That's number one. The other part of this, I don't know if anybody caught it, but if I were a union worker in this country, I'd be insulted by that second part, because he talked about the middle class and unions built the middle class. And every time he does a speech in front of union workers, you built this country. He just said that it's illegal immigrants that built this country. He said they are the reason why our economy is growing. Everybody within the sound of my voice, forget the apology. I get the apology. I get the semantics of it. I understand. I don't agree with it, but I understand, based on his political base, why he would stand up or sit down at this interview, why he would get up in an interview, say, I shouldn't have said it, should have said undocumented. But when you say, I'm not going to insult them, I'm not going to disparage them, I'm not going to, well, you do it all the time to your political opponents. And then to say they built America and they are the reason why the American economy is growing, that's exactly what the president just said. How is that not the biggest headline in this story? It should be. It absolutely should be.
Thanks for watching the Mike Broomhead Show. Tap to watch and listen to the new season of Amazing Arizonans, a KTAR News podcast. You can also click the button in the middle to subscribe.